And there's always time for sucking. But right now, it's time for yo ho ho. What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you a whole new year, bro. This is me. It was all because of me. Like, we moved forward from 2019 to 2020 because of me. Like, it was my force of will, my permissiveness brought us to this new era, this new age, a whole new decade, my nigga.
Are you claiming to be Superman going forward?
My nigga,
24 hours?
I'm claiming to be entropy itself, my nigga.
That's an impressive set of powers.
Shit. But there were so many good things about 2019 that, we can't just leave that bitch without, commenting on it. So we got the boys here. If you guys will give like a final word to the decade before we hop into this greatness.
I would say 2019 can be wrapped up with two words, and that is dick tits.
Thank you, Chad. I needed that. I don't know, man. 2019 was not hitting, but I'm glad that it's over. Fresh start, and I get to be lazy. No more videos every day. Fuck that.
Until
back on that.
This December, huh?
Nah. Fuck, that's never happening again. That was an experiment. We are never back on that grind again.
Yeah, check out Satsuki's channel to see the latest 28 videos.
Oh yeah, they took down one of my videos, one of the streams, because I had fucking Post Malone playing. Because it was like, when they drop the ball or whatever, they do the countdown. They had Post Malone performing in some hot pink jacket looking like Michael Jackson and shit. And I had him on screen for like 10 seconds. They said, "Oh, what?
No, what? 10 seconds?
Yeah. they got my video the fuck out of there.
Yeah, ain't that how it goes?
Sad.
But they did change it to like you can have 5 seconds of a song, but that's it.
Oh.
What do you mean they changed it? Like, what do you like?
They changed the whole copyright system. Like, if they made like a few new amendments to it in favor of us creators. For example, like the 5-second thing I mentioned, like you can have 5 seconds of a song, and it won't be claimed, or it won't be automatically claimed. I mean, the people who are ever in charge of claiming stuff, they can still manually go in and do whatever they want. That's not going to change, but the algorithm won't pick it up. And also, like, if you're in a gym or if you're walking out on the street or something and you just hear music in the background, that won't be claimed either.
Well, yeah, who could control that?
Well, that's what used to happen. Like, people would be in the gym and then like the music would be playing and they'd be claimed, or if they'd be walking outside and then you hear it like on a car or something else, it'd still be claimed. Even though like you're not actively trying to play the music.
The whole genre of interview videos where like those guys go out to those club strips or like strip clubs at night or whatever, interview drunk people and ask them all kinds of questions and stuff. All those videos just have all kinds of problems because of that.
Yeah, there you go. And also, just saying the lyrics of songs would get people claimed as well.
Huh?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Like, if you just said, not even melodically, if you just straight up read off the lyrics of any song, you could get claimed. But they changed that too.
I guess it's a good thing I never could sing a song entirely. Like, I'll get like the first few words and then I usually just cut it off.
It got so bad that Mr. Beast just said the title of a song in one of his videos just out of context, not even related to the song, and it got claimed.
Oh,
that's how bloodthirsty they were. But YouTube thankfully, told them to chill out and change things.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be a little bit harder for people to just say that your video's theirs or whatever. But
yeah, they have to like provide the clips or the moment in the video, and they have to give like an actual reason why they're doing it. Before it was just nope, this is claimed, this is copyrighted, and then that was it.
Yeah, I've had a couple videos in 2019 that were that way, and I didn't even know about it. I would just go back to see like how certain videos had done, and like a month or two after the fact, and it's like copyright claim. And I was like, wait, what? That isn't a strike, right?
Yeah, this process is much better because like it's better for the creators who are getting striked or whatever, because not only do you get to see what was claimed, so you can make amendments to it, but it's also you just don't it just doesn't happen as frequently anymore, because it's like some fraudulent claims sometimes, and then you're just getting the strike for nothing.
Exactly. And like people think that like YouTube doesn't care about the creators, they only care about the companies. Well, it's like a little bit of both, but it's not as black and white as people think. They do want us to succeed, even the ones who aren't like the family friendly vloggers like us, people who make like fair use stuff. They still want us to exist, and they want that to thrive, but there's only so much they could do. But at least they're actively trying to make it better.
Well, to get it pushing, hopefully this year will for sure be better than last year, even though last year wasn't horrible whatsoever. On this channel, we were able to get to 1K for the first time. Our family grew. We put in a lot of work.
Sure.
Proud to say that the collab's been going for like more than a whole year now. Yeah, bro, y'all niggas don't know how hard it is to get niggas that live in different places, different countries, to agree to get together at certain times to talk about the same thing efficiently. That's a hard task. And we got it here, bro. All kinds of credible ass niggas just be coming through saying all kinds of credible ass shit. Nothing but facts at this fucking table. So
is that why you're fact validator?
Wait, bro, she was getting out of hand, bro. I had to fucking bless these niggas with the atomic slander video, so I, gotta put them in check sometimes. Yeah, like, hey, shut the fuck up. It's atomic can be flashy.
Uh-oh.
We'll have to say.
Yeah. Oh, hey, at the end of 2020, me and Zoe gonna do a video. Flashy versus atomic.
Oh my god.
But for now, 124 capped off the year. I don't think I'm the only one who believes that this chapter was spectacular, but what do you guys think?
Short, sweet, theory confirmed.
Oh, theory.
Yes. The Saturday after 2/23, I posted a theory in Griever's chat, and then I posted it on to, or not chat, but his server, and then I posted it on the Grimm server. And then the very next chapter, what happens? It basically happened. Psi armor. Though
Okay.
it didn't happen exactly the way I initially planned, but for a moment it occurred.
Gotcha. I echo the same sentiments. Short. I like the chapter. Any chapter with Fubuki in it, I say this all the time, is automatically a plus. But this time it's like more credible because she actually pulled her weight, and we got like a great character moment, in my opinion, for Fubuki. It's kind of like a shot for the people who always say like Fubuki's just a fan service character. This chapter kind of puts that to rest.
You mean Fubuki?
Yes.
And you're the reason that people think she's that way.
Yeah, you're the problem.
I would say that she's far from a fan service character. She's just, perfectly drawn. It's hard to like see past that. But I think she's a great, fully realized character, and this chapter just developed her in a much needed way. And we'll talk, of course, more about that later on. I don't want to spill everything now, but the chapter was fun. It was short, but man, her butt in that one panel is like 10 out of 10.
Bruh.
I think I remember you tweeting about that.
Yeah. It's like Murata is one of the few mangakas that actually understands ass. All of the other Japanese dudes are just like big titties. That's kind of racist.
I mean, like that's the thing. I do think they have a preference to boobs rather than ass. Like I don't think we can discount that. You look at some of the hentai and some of the dojins, all you see is women with huge boobs. Like I'm talking about boobs that like knock a house down. I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. I want to see the cheeks.
Yeah, like everyone is like a female from One Piece.
Yeah.
Like I mean, yeah, I like the One Piece females. I think they're cool. I think they were better pre-time skip. But like it's like I don't know, Oda goes out of his way to make their tits massive and then their butt non-existent. I'm like, why do you like that?
That's where all the fat went, apparently. It just shifted north.
This shit, like, my
I don't know
God.
about you guys, but like I'd rather have a massive butt with no tits than the other way around.
Low
I
key,
am saying
big facts. Like if she's like a like, cause that's there's like hotness and there's beauty, right? So like a beautiful girl, most often that I've seen, like doesn't have big ass titties, but they got those hips and that ass. And the ass man doesn't have to be like super duper big. It's just like the thigh to like booty cheek drip ratio is like
trip.
exquisite, my
Where's the
nigga. Like
drip?
it's where we're talking like on a almost point seven ratio bit of like sexuality efficiency. Like my nigga, there's too much weight that should be put in the ass for niggas to just draw titties all the time. And I'll give you no credit to Prison School, for example, that like both in animation and in the manga, like the thigh to like as I said, booty drip ratio. It's like it's hard to describe, my nigga. It's eye capturing. It's genjutsu like, my nigga. It's what you're here for. And Murata brought it here for us to say.
Prison school, yeah, man. I can't post a picture to prove your point, but man, oh man.
I believe I read somewhere that Murata said in a tweet that there's continuity issues between 123 and 124, and that it should be addressed in a redraw in this year. So for those of you who don't know, the site that we use most often is Manga Dex, and that one's down right now. But if you can find your own link, you can see. I may have the images up. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to deal with copyright. So, how do you guys make sense of like the transition? Like, is the beginning of this chapter like the new redraw, or like is that last chapter going to be redrawn? How are you guys seeing
it it's weird because I don't know if he'll redraw the previous end of the chapter or just the beginning of this one. He should probably just redraw the beginning of this, or at least signify that there's like a flashback or something. Because that's what the whole thing is happening here. Like we're picking up like the end of 123 is picking up like midway into this chapter.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, that when she says, or when they block the attack point blank or whatever, but then, because
What was the continuity issue?
Because the whole thing about the last chapter was supposed to be, it's like ending with Rover attacking them, which is fine. It's a cool cliffhanger, everything to end the chapter, but they should probably just start off this chapter with signifying that it's going back in time a little bit, which it doesn't, and it kind of confuses people.
But the actual scene where we would like
the dress, gotcha.
Yeah, the actual scene where like we see it like connecting the continuity, where like she actually says like you owe me or whatever. That is different than like the perspective we got at 923 or 123, and I guess it could be like perspective wise because we didn't see all of the area that we're in. All we really saw was like Rover attacking and then Fubuki saying what she said. So I'm just wondering if you really could like just not redraw anything and just do what you're saying, like just annotate that like this is a little flashback, or if like you actually have to do some redraws. I don't know.
But also, he should probably do redraws because there's still continuity errors, even though it's not like a big deal. Like Fubuki's dress is like messed up big time at the end of 123 after that blast happens, but in 124 it's completely fine.
Yeah.
And then we could see more of Fubuki's body.
Oh, that's true.
You're a man of culture, trying to salvage the.
Yeah, man. Just trying to spread the
chats
culture.
out here. Okay.
This is definitely like This is surprising. So I guess this is not like skipping because it's starting off from the beginning, but is this presentation of Rover more impressive than up against Goro?
I don't think so. I mean, damn, it's hard, but it's like what really sealed it for me was like the last blast from Rover that he did on Garo. Like that was insane. I don't think he did that in this chapter. He had one pretty huge ass blast.
Yeah, that it was.
But I'm not sure if that was like I would have to look back at that chapter to see like which one was more devastating. But
that's the thing. Like, let me ask the obvious question here. There's a big like, basically pillar in the center of this area, and then there's like fucking you see the hallways or whatever all up against the walls or whatever. Did Rover carve this passage into the association? Like, is this what this is, or like is something else going on here?
I don't. It looks it's weird because it kind of looks like it's designed to be like that. I'm not sure because it just looks so perfect. Like I don't know.
But you can see the destruction like marks like everywhere. Like it's consistent. Like it looks like even up against the sides. Yeah, it got blasted. So I'm like, and it's don't get me wrong. It's not completely out of the form of reason, but I feel like they would have had been dodging for a long ass fucking time for him to do all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing we can say in favor of Rover in this chapter is the whole injury thing. The fact that he was able to pull this off still being hurt. That didn't look like he skipped a beat, really.
Zhoniin?
It looks like he did. Because it's like all broken and stuff. So I think it was probably like a normal. I mean, I don't think like every single indent we see, like, I don't think he like, I don't know if you're looking at the perspective of the one page where he's like firing the blasts and you get a good, where you see it looks like a honeycomb. I don't think he made that entire area hollow. But the center thing, I think it was probably more uniform and probably had a covering to it or something. And this is the end result of him blasting through everything because the architecture just doesn't make sense if he didn't.
That's the thing. Like, not only does the architecture not make sense, his blasts are showing to be able to do what we're talking about. Like, one of these is like, it's pretty destructive, and he's doing volleys. Like, volleys on for fun, man. So, like, I gotta ask, like, is it really implausible for Rover to have carved this entire hollow space?
I don't see it. Like, the way that it's fairly circular, the whole thing, and how perfectly carved it is, I'm not sure. Because, like, his blasts, like, don't have a curve to them. Like that. So I don't know how he could have kept it that consistent the whole way around.
What do you mean his blasts don't have a curve? Like, it looks like, I'm gonna ask that question next. It looks like he is curving his blast.
I guess I see one that's doing that, but
he definitely is. He definitely can control where his blasts go, which was something we didn't know before.
That's fucking crazy, my nigga. Like,
yeah, it just adds even more power to him, which he doesn't really know.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he was a tank before, and now he's an aimable tank. I can shoot around corners.
And this nigga's like, there was this one thing that there was a comment that somebody pointed out in the comment section of a video. So the comment is by Will Fox Johnson, and he pointed out that twice Rover has shown stealth mastery. First, he snuck up on Garo. Second, Rover ambushed 2 martial artists and 1 psychic by silencing his approach. Okay. Let me put his blunt down. And 1 psychic by silencing his approach, which was no small feat considering how big and how loud he tends to be. He also has enhanced senses, as he detected Bang Bomb and Fubuki through his noisy and smoky rapid fire energy blast, my dude. Any merit to that sentiment? Did you guys notice that as well, or is that kind of like it's whatever?
I mean, he is a dog, so he probably has a very heightened sense of smell and hearing, for sure. And I mean, those 6 eyes have to account for something as well. They might function collectively on each side as like compound eyes, like what bugs have.
Yeah.
Where they can like see the slightest movements. So he has like almost instant tracking.
Yeah, I can buy into it. I mean, just the fact that he like Rover literally pulled up on him. Like, damn, I can't remember that movie, but it's like when it's like here comes Johnny. Like that's how Rover pulled up on him. Like, what's up? What y'all doing over there?
The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining.
And that was actually an improvised line.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Yeah, that was improvised by Rover too.
Yeah, except he didn't have to say shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just here now.
So, what's the strongest monster that Fubuki's seen? Besides Rover, because she says that, she says that she's never seen one as strong as this.
I'm trying to think back to what.
She wasn't there for EC.
Yeah, Rover should be the strongest monster that she's seen. Yeah.
I don't know who would be the next strongest, though.
She hasn't really come in contact with many monsters like that. I mean, you have Demonic Fan and the OS. They're both demons, so
she met up with
who else?
She met up with the boys right after she fought the OS, right?
I don't know.
Like, which boys are you talking about?
Bang and Bomb and King inside Thomas' apartment.
I don't know if it was right after. I'm not sure.
I think it was in that continuity, or she probably got healed, or then either way, because I know she was in turmoil about her troops, her entire team being defeated, taken out. So she went to go find those guys and make the new Fubuki group. So I think it was an exact continuity. So she hasn't really encountered anybody yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, she hasn't really seen monsters like that. I don't think she's seen a dragon level monster yet.
Yeah. I mentioned that because I want to, like, before we get to it, like, towards the end, I want to add some more, like, credit to Fubuki's, like, ledger. Because, like, previously I was complaining a lot that the presentation of 1, 2, 3 at the end of it was, like, negative for Rover. And I wasn't, like, pointing at the fact that it's also, like, a really, really good feat in a moment of, like, extreme development. Or an opportunity for extreme development for Fubuki. And, like, to see that Murata is taking that opportunity, especially with, like, what happened at the end of this chapter. I just wanted to add that, like, yeah, but, like, on her first attempt fighting a high dragon, she out here, you leading the way and shit. Like, that's my baby out here. For real.
She got balls, man. You standing up to Rover? Oof. And she was really about to take the L, too.
Yeah, that I was a little surprised by that. I figured she would take a support role, which she did, but she did kind of step up in that moment. And I was like, oh shit, is she actually going to die? Hopefully not.
Yeah, that was everything. So we hyped up the man because Saitama put him to sleep and he got right back up. Moments time period. Orochi stepped up after the punch to face Saitama, and then he got right back after that. So now he's bleeding, apparently. I think there's a little bit more politics involved in the final, in the fate of Rover, because of like just how Japanese culture is. Like, for example, here in America, we don't really show that much like violence towards women that often, and they also hold back up against that as well. You see that all the time in like One Piece, and all different kinds of stories. Like, violence against women is differently, or it's censored, or it's restricted compared to like other kinds of violence, other forms of violence.
Yeah, like I'm watching Ennie's Lobby recently, and like Spandam was beating the shit out of Robin.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was like one scene where she was like on the ground. Like I remember, like her teeth was
Yeah,
were,
she's
were on the
she
biting
was
the
ground.
biting
pavement.
onto us. Yeah,
About the curb stomper.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it like. So I'm wondering if Rover's fate is gonna be skewed because of censorship. So like right now, we didn't even see like where he's bleeding from or like anything like that. We just know he's bleeding. In every other panel of like the that we see Rover, he isn't like wincing or like we don't see an obvious scar or anything like that. But there's blood dripping. So like, is the fate of Rover going to be censored somehow, or like what kind of injury do you guys think Rover has? What are your thoughts on that?
we'd have to
Oh.
see it first.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's weird because he was like bleeding, like as he was walking. So like the injury isn't really consistent with like how Saitama hit him. Because as far as I remember, like Saitama hit him like head on. I think. I don't think he. Definitely don't think he hit him on his legs or anything. So if it's internal bleeding, that doesn't make any damn sense. But
Why not? Why wouldn't it be internal bleeding?
Because it
we
stays
literally see
internal.
it.
You don't know about it until it's too late.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to see it if it wasn't internal. If it was internal bleeding. But it's weird. Like I don't know. I'm not sure how the injury is working.
And we'll
But
see him from many angles, so
'Cause-
it doesn't look like anything's piercing him and just like sticking out. Because that's what I would have figured, is that Saitama, when he hit him, that like there was a piece of debris on the ground and it somehow pierced through him. Because other than that, which even that's kind of iffy, because like he's so damn tanky, what normal material is going to pierce through him that well?
Well, I was thinking it's more like the stereotypical like shonen thing where you take damage and you spit up blood. It's not necessarily like any like super exterior damage besides like scuff marks, and we're not gonna see that on like the black fur of
Then
Rover.
that goes into the internal bleeding, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what they usually do, spit up blood. So it could be that he is like having blood drip down the sides of his mouth or whatever. That's, he was drooling when we first saw him as well. So that's not too crazy. But I'm just wondering, where is he bleeding from? Like, I agree. There's no. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you're asking the right question, because that's what I was wondering when I first read it too. I was like, where is he bleeding from? So maybe it's coming out of his mouth, or maybe this is one of those things that Murata might change in the continuity, like showing his wound or something. Because either he's coughing up blood, or the punch that Saitama gave him is like cracked his skin or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But as far as you said with the whole politics thing, I think it's a little different in Rover's case because he actually looks like a monster. I think if he did like have an appearance of an actual dog, like where he's looking all cute and shit, I think it would be a little different. Because I do think like when it comes to like the optics of that, when you see like a cute animal like that dying, you're like, no. But if someone saw Rover die, they'll be like, oh. Huh?
Yeah, like One and Murata are very far from Araki. Like, I think we're gonna be all right.
Oh my
Fuck
god.
that nigga, bro.
He kills. Oh my! I'm still on part 3, and I'm just like, yo,
It's too
why
much,
is
bro.
this man always wilding?
Yeah,
one of
tripping,
my
bro.
oldest memories of part 1, because I only read like the first chapter or whatever, and then I like fell off of it. I always remembered the dog, and I was like, what the hell was that series that I read? I remember a burning dog.
That's not even that bad compared to what we actually see.
Yeah, in part 3.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. On God, you can all niggas can ask Discord, bro. I turned that shit off, bro. I turned that shit off. I did not watch that shit.
Nope.
Fuck that, bro. With a dog right behind, hell no, I wasn't watching that shit. But that I will give credit to what Satsuki's saying that like, if you guys remember Grizzly Neon, he was also a pretty cool looking monster, but he had very similar appearance to a cat or whatever, just monstrified. So and he got popped.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't expect Rover to get popped, but I don't know, bro. Like I still like, oh, bro, he looks too much like a dog, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't give a fuck about the cat, but like,
Actually, that brings up a thing. Has Juan or Murata ever mentioned if they're dog or cat people?
Not that I know of.
Because that could be an interesting tell to how this goes down. Because if they like dogs, he might have a dignified death. But if they hate dogs, we might go the Iraqi route. Because remember, Nian, he's a cat. We know he was a cat initially, so, and you saw what condition he was in, but he was still alive. So,
oh, so like, if there's Neon, and then there's Grizzly Neon, is Watchdog Man the Grizzly Neon of Rover? Yeah.
Oh,
Solve that riddle at home, folks. No, I'm saying like, because Grizzly Neon is obviously the inferior of like Neon and his capabilities.
yeah.
So like, with Watchdog Man being an S rank and Rover being like Rover, is Watchdog Man supposed to be, or like, could we predict him to be a capable inferior to Rover?
But that would mean that Watchdog Man is a monster.
No. I mean, shit, bro. Ask him to take the suit off. See what happens.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't say yes to that, because he's just a nigga in a dog suit.
I'm waiting to see if he can even take the.
Watch, bro. He gonna growl when you say take the suit off, and then it's gonna power up. It'll be his power up. Shit, man. But all right, so I guess we're in agreement that like Rover's injury should probably be something internal then, or it's not gonna be anything that's like a bone sticking out or anything like that, right?
Nah, I don't think.
Yeah, like I said, we see him from too many angles for it to be something that would be externally seen. And plus, because he fires blasts from his mouth and like the whole coughing up blood you mentioned before, heck, it's probably evaporating blood. That's why it's not that commonly seen throughout the chapter. And I mean, they only mention it, what, once or twice?
Yeah, it's not very apparent that like he's weakened by that. Besides their statement, that's why I'm asked the question in the beginning that like you guys kind of like shied away from. You answered it, but like whether we agree that he like carved this hollow cavern or not, like Rover's been doing that thing to this place, and without a doubt, this group or this opponent has to be as formidable, if not more formidable, than the Garou that Rover first encountered. So he's now fighting a stronger opponent than he did previously, and he's weakened. If we look at it as like Rover being the protagonist side, like my nigga finna put in that work, bro. Like this is the setup for like a whole comeback story. But I just want to like, is this presentation of Rover gonna be like it? Like, is this nigga done after this shit? Like, and if it is done, like, is he gonna put everything on the table? Like, is Bang, Bomb, and Fubuki versus Rover gonna be that thing, or is it gonna be off screen?
I would be surprised if it's off screen, considering that they got an entire chapter dedicated to them.
I mean, that should happen with Devil Longhair in the trio.
That is true.
But they didn't deserve it.
Big facts.
Yeah, I mean, they got plenty of development. And honestly, it was really generous to give them that entire chapter.
for a fact.
Like, I mean, you didn't even give Pig God half a chapter. You're giving them.
And he's ranked number 10 in the S class, damn it.
He's not even on the volume cover.
Yeah.
They really don't like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably has to do with like attractiveness to the audience or whatever.
They really don't like that, man. I mean, he built like a sumo wrestler. Why you can't fuck with Pig God?
They keep referring to splitting up with King. So, just as a quick reference, are we supposed to expect King to be relevant within the next few chapters? Because we're seeing the new Fubuki group. What do you guys think the state of King is right now? You guys think he's like fighting the resurrected Orochi? Like, what's...
Oh my god!
I'm still thinking he's going to be the one who finds Tario, and then he's just going to think it's another monster disguising itself and be like, "No, I'm out."
And then kill it.
Maybe. I don't think so.
Oh, my little heart.
You might try and punch him because it's like, I gotta fight monsters, but it looks like a kid. It's like,
Shit, all I know is that nigga Tario ain't getting one shot. Hell no, he not.
Yeah, he not. That man, he gone. Yeah, I need that race between him and Flashy Flash.
Yeah, he's faster than Atomic Slash. No, not the Atomic, but the Atomic's Air Slash.
Woo! Listen. 100 eyes are pretty fast too.
Oh my god.
We're just talking about Tario here. You don't need to bring 100 eyes into this. Since we were talking about how Manga Dex is down, unfortunately, I need to go to like a shady ass website to look at this chapter, and like I can't look at this chapter without 1,000 ads on this site of all like these 3D chicks with perfect asses. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about?
Bro,
what side are you on?
Manganello?
No, it's just whatever site that's just shady. It has chapters on there. It's just interesting for you, advertisements, and it's just like these perfect 3D renderings of like these warrior chicks with just these perfect asses.
Bro, they've been getting good, my nigga.
It's incredible, actually.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, you can't go to anywhere on anything without seeing them in the corner. And my nigga, I'm starting to pay attention, bro. Little by little, I'm just shit. You can only see the ass so much. Like,
it's like you won't last 3 seconds playing this game.
Usually the ass I always get the MILF ass. It'd be like, the MILF's in your area. My husband is died. Fuck me.
Or they'll have like these like long GIF ads where like it's like a fine ass chick, but she has a dick. She's shit out. Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's huge.
It took a dark turn.
I'm telling you, bro, it's wild, bro.
No, it's like the shadier websites you go to, then you'll start getting those really crazy ads. But if you tone it back, then you'll just see like asses and thongs. But if you go deeper, then it's just like 8-foot long dicks and shit.
Oh, no.
Or even like if you go on Google's front page and you like click like a random article, whether it's on the mobile or desktop, like those articles at the bottom, all the ads are like fucking porn stars, and they have like some clickbaity article title right next to them and shit, or like a random girl like fights off rapists but gets raped by like other group or something like that. And then it's a clickbaity photo of some like banging ass porn star where they say all kinds of shit now, bro. All kinds of shit. But I ain't mad about it.
I used to use that was like that. It'd have about 6 articles at the bottom of every page, and sometimes I would click on them because I'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
That's the goal. So in the assault that we saw from Rover at the point blank distance, Rover's done that about 2 or 3 times. He likes to do that, sneak up on niggas and just blast them in the face. So Bang and Bomb together were able, with the assistance of Fubuki, to fucking deflect. Like, I don't know how to describe what the fuck happened here, because this is a perfect ball, and it's spectacular the amount of destruction that happened. Like, Bang and Bomb's like fusion style, completely overwhelming Rover. Like, or excuse me, Garo. Like, what is? What are y'all taking from the fact that they blocked this, and then what do y'all take from the fact that like Rover did that?
I mean, I think. I mean, if like what Garo were you talking about? Garo now
No,
or back then?
The Garo that like was like, oh shit, had the whole flashback and everything, the whole TV in front of his ass when Rover came through, bro. Like, oh, I'm about to die. I'm done. Like, why did I die like this, bro?
Yeah, he was basically like dead for 3 seconds.
Legit, bro. Legit, bro. Like that nigga was. His genes knew it was over. Let's see what happened, bro. But like these guys, it's. I don't know how to put it without like getting controversial, but like Rover is fucking strong as fuck, bro. Like so strong. But these niggas are keeping up. Like they're keeping up. Like how strong is Bang Bomb for real, bro? I don't see any other dragon doing or beating what Rover's doing. I don't see it happening so far.
He's number 3 for a reason.
And this isn't even.
Oh, you saw the top 30, my nigga.
No, I'm saying S class rank 3.
Yeah.
Oh, but he was number 3 on your list. Well, there you go. He's number 3 on your list for a reason.
No. That's what. You give niggas S ranks.
Chapter, you're just saying like their peak if they don't have any like physical injuries, like like the back pain and the knee pain and stuff. So imagine what they were like in their prime.
That's the question.
That's scary.
This gives us more insight into that because ever since Murata mentioned and drew Prime Bang, it became like one of the most popular things to talk about. Like, I don't know how many times somebody has commented on my video, blah, Prime Bang versus this guy. I'm like, I wish I could answer this, but we just don't know. We can only speculate how powerful he was, but this is kind of showing us that, like, you give Bang some stem cells, a little bit of testosterone, some growth hormone, and he's deflecting Rover blasts. So, yeah, he was probably like, I don't know, dragon in his prime, maybe. I don't know.
This is where I gotta like step in because we're gonna flourish the conversation from here. So Zhoniin described the buff as like little. Could you add more context to that, or like, do you think that the buff that Fubuki gave them wasn't like anything great?
Yeah, I don't think it's that significant of a buff. I don't think like she increased their power like 50% or anything like that.
It's more of like an ultimate painkiller.
She just says, I've reinforced your bodies. You should be able to move a little bit faster, although the effect is temporary. So I mean, it's nothing major, and they're like real like modest about it. Like they're like, look at that, my knee could move good. I could now twist, and my back pain's gone, and my knee pain's gone. It's not like, holy shit, I just ate a monster cell, and I have no morality anymore. Yeah, they're just like, look at that.
No, that's literally how I took it, bro. That's literally, especially with like how they push like Bang takes his stance after they. I just scrolled down a little bit further than where we're at, but after the deflection happens, and then Bang steps up, and then Rover's like growling, and then you see Bang and Bomb. They're like, "Let's go, big bro," and then Bomb's like, "Yeah." That picture to me is showing like extreme rays. Like we've only seen Bang get his eyes like that whenever he was going up against Garo, and Garo himself said that the old man's cutting loose right now. Like he doesn't usually fight like this. So, in all honesty, I really think this is a significant buff. That what they got.
I think it's more of like, let's say, like, this is headcanon shit. Like, let's say Fubuki, her, enhancing their physical abilities was like giving them a percentage boost or something like that. To any other regular person, it wouldn't mean that much because you're only increasing so much power. but because it's them two in particular, the power that they're getting from it is immense, or it's really, really enhancing their capabilities because it's how strong they already are. So that's how I see it. Like, let's
Yeah,
say
I
she's like
agree with
increasing
that.
them by like 1% or some shit like that. Like on me, that's not going to do shit.
It-
You
You're not
have
going
a
to see
better
the effect.
shot.
It's like interest on a billionaire's bank account. Like they could live off the interest alone, but then
Yeah.
you can't, like low bracket kind of middle or like middle income, all that stuff. That interest ain't shit.
That's goals.
Well, the way
Living off interest.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
I'm just saying that like that's a good way to look at it.
Well, if
From what
you're
you were explaining.
numerically to use Satsuki's example, because I'm looking at it differently, it would be like if Satsuki's a 10, excuse me, a 10 overall, and Bang and Bomb are like a 99. They're both getting a 10% or a 5 point boost, right? But so then Bang's getting to 104, while Satsuki's getting to a fucking 14. So I can see why it would seem like he's not that much stronger, like he doesn't have that much more strength regardless. While Bang is achieving like feats that are at an even greater level, even though they're already high. That's what I think it is. That like Rover's threshold of power is like a 103, and Bang just got boosted to a 104, so now that they can compete. That's what I think it is, and I think that 104 or that boost is high. But I can see what you're saying, that like it's probably the same thing and it's not that significant. They're just that strong. But I think 100%. I don't think this nigga's doing this if he doesn't have this boost.
No, yeah. Yeah, because they kind of seem. The thing about it that kind of frustrated me a little, but like after Fubuki did her thing, I was like, okay. It was kind of like they were letting Fubuki take the damage. I was kind of like, bruh, if y'all could deflect it, why didn't y'all? You're like, we need your help, young lady, but why are you letting her almost die?
I think that they could have. But like probably not as easily as he does it here, because they are about to step in and deflect it, but then she does it for them.
But then that removes the insurance for, because Satsuki's statement ensures that like them neglecting to like deflect in the beginning is covered. Like, oh, it's because that like they really couldn't do that, so they needed her help, or and she just happened to help. They didn't even know what they were gonna do. That's how I was seeing it. But like, if we say that they could have deflected it, then why the fuck didn't they?
Because Fubuki did it for them.
So she just got there first.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back,
Geriatrics.
if you go back, like as soon as he launches at them, Bang steps in, and you see him like doing the water stream, and then the blast goes off, and then once everything's cleared, he's like, "I'm unscathed," and then you see Fubuki like, "You owe me." So it's kind of like somebody forcibly paying the dinner bill for you, and you didn't really ask them to. It's like, could you have paid the bill? Maybe.
I feel like it was more like the reason why it happened, the reason why like I was frustrated initially, but then I was like, well, whatever, because I think it was just to have a comedic effect on it, just to kind of show like how, continue that whole gag of Fubuki being delusional.
Oh no,
It's
I
like,
agree 100%, because she's like, without my protection, there would be nothing left of you.
yeah,
Which I don't think is true. I mean, if Garo can take one of those blasts, I think Bang can.
yeah, definitely.
I don't. Oh, okay, 100%. He has to. He has to be able to take
He would
multiple.
probably survive.
No, he has to be able to take multiple.
I don't know how much skin he'd have left.
Nah, bro, you can't be that. You can't be him and not be able to take multiple. Like, bro, trust me, I'm bordering on the edge of becoming a Rover fanboy, and I'm trying my fucking hardest to be unbiased in this conversation, bro. Like, I really just want to say, fuck this old ass nigga. It's his Rover nigga. He's gonna come through and just bust. I want to say that. But like, even now, like I'll admit it. Even now, I'm not a fucking unreasonable individual. Like what Zhoniin said in the reread, because I'm if you forget the end of 1, 2, 3, like do not take that into context. Take just this into context. Then for sure, like Rover like snuck up behind him. It seems like Bang and Bomb were already kind of in front of her, but like regardless, they stepped up together and they were gonna defend the group. They were in the front. So yeah, I could see that they were gonna engage the assault regardless of what Fubuki did, but I'm still skeptical that like they wouldn't have been like fucked over right now if they did try to do that.
I think they would have been fucked up. I don't think they would have like shook it off. I don't think they'd be dead.
Fuck, she's so hot, bro.
I'm definitely.
I know,
seeing
even when
this-
she's all crazy and like, her tits are so perfect.
Yeah,
that
bro.
was
Oh man! And when she's mad, bro, that face was like, I'll put up the shield one more time. My nigga, like, yo, I was like, nigga, let's ride, bro. Like how niggas be suited up when, bro. When Gino suited up for EC, I felt like the same exact thing. I was like, fuck it, let's do it, dog. I was with Fubuki, nigga, take my power. I was like, this is Goku shit. Take my life force.
Doing the spirit bomb.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your energy.
I would have
shield
been
on
down.
this master.
But speaking of Fubuki and her power, I really like that she could do this because it just gives her more purpose other than just being like, you know, a B-class hero who is objectively A-class in power and maybe even S-class, you know, if she goes full power, because obviously she could deflect Rover's blast. Even if it's just once, that's still like an S-class
She
feat.
has to be. She has to be S-class. Bro.
But I just really like that she has like the buff ability. Like she can just help others and stuff because that's something that I don't think we see enough in this series. It's usually just like if you're weak then you're shit out of luck. But then like I like that you can support other people too. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. Like when you have like those two big like super powerful dudes on your team and then you have the one utility person who's not as powerful but just basically there to buff everyone else. So if she could just like
hard in any D&D.
exactly, because this is like kind of unfair for Rover now because now you have like this one mage buff character in Fubuki that can deflect blasts and buff bang and bomb, and they're just these two powerhouses. Now the tables have like turned. All that she needs is like a healing ability, and it's pretty much over.
So real quick, let's go through the list of like all psychic abilities we've seen so far because they seem to be varying. That's how it looks like Wen and Murata are differentiating between like different characters. Like Fubuki has more conventional. Tatsumaki has more conventional like telekinetic lifting, flight. She can create force fields. She had, to an extent, has sensory perception. She was able to sense out Giro. What else has she done? That's really about it, right?
Restraints.
If we're just talking about Tatsumaki, just her, yeah.
All right. And then with Giro, she's able to like channel her power into like distant objects and control them like remotes. She can channel her power. Go ahead.
I was going to say she can channel the power into other things. She can like use the force field as like a weapon and like box you into it. Like she boxed those monsters into like a cube and then fed them to Orochi.
Yeah, Tatsu can as well.
Also has friggin' force lightning.
Oh yeah.
and gravity attack.
Yeah.
Gravity, telepathy, communication telepathy. What else? Supposedly power gauging.
Oh yeah, that too.
And then with Fubuki, now we have buff or power amplifications. Also force fields. What else has she done? She can fly as well.
I mean, she creates like the winds and whatnot.
And then freezes.
Yeah, but Tatsu can do that as well. Oh, she freezes. What do you mean freezes?
Well, I was pretty sure she actually like froze stuff with the wind, like it got so cold.
Nah, I ain't never seen that.
I could have sworn that happened. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Probably. But yeah, there's definitely a variety and a lot of consistencies amongst the powers or things that you can identify as like all experts having. Like Gearspur also clearly has the ability of like telekinetic manipulation, like moving things and stuff. So I'm super interested to see how Fubuki flourishes differently than the others. Like, can she make your dick hard from like across town and keep it that way?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. I haven't read that One Hurricane yet.
Because I think you would think that Guro should be able to do that, right? Because if she can move the puppet from far away, she should be able to like let's say that like you and Giro are close friends, right? Y'all niggas be cool and chilling, and she lets you fuck one time, but then she wasn't really feeling it, so she started dating somebody else, but y'all stayed friends and shit, right? And then you was out there telling her like, oh shit, I'm trying to fuck this girl, but like she makes me nervous, and then I couldn't get hard when I was like, when she gave me a chance to fuck. So then you tell Giro, hey, why don't you amplify my meat when I go put this work in later on tonight? And then she does it. So now while she's sitting at home watching TV, with her man, eating popcorn or whatever, watching Netflix, that new Witcher shit. You out there getting ready to fuck your bitch, and she getting your meat hard the whole time. Like, that'd be incredibly invaluable, my nigga.
Yeah, or you just take Cialis.
But now she can invigorate you as well. So.
Yeah, my nigga. Like, that's. I would rather have Guro than Cialis. Hey, somebody click the ad.
I was looking up Fubuki, and I must be thinking of somebody else.
Well, I mean, also her name is Blizzard, so.
Well, that's probably why I keep thinking that. I must have thought like some of the debris in her Hellstorm was ice for some reason.
Or maybe in the future she unlocks that cryokinesis ability.
I mean, just like if she could focus it and get like the winds going at such a temperature,
It's possible.
Fubuki power-up video coming? I don't know.
Fubuki future power-up.
Well, that's what I always... Yeah.
And they did a good thumbnail you can use is that artwork that they released for Fubuki from, I think, that Grand Summoners game or something, where she's wearing like this winter dress. She looks like she's like a Frozen character or something.
All right, so let's hop onto the official like big plot point of the chapter. I want to try and identify the original story development for Fubuki, because on a large part she had envy, or like she felt inadequate in contrast to her sister because her sister was so powerful and she wasn't. She felt lesser. She depended on the strength of others. Excuse me, I said others. And she depended on the strength of others, to do everything. Well, she herself was indeed capable, as she saw. But we're starting to see that she's deviating from that, even though she's still clinging to that same ideal, making the new Fubuki group. But even when she was with the Fubuki group, she was a leader. Like, she wasn't some pussy. She was taking charge. She was getting things done, and she didn't shy away from responsibility. So I'm trying to like ask, is this form of development like good towards the whole Tatsumaki thing, or is this just like her own path? Basically, I'm asking, like, are there two storylines of development for her? Like, her feeling inferior to her sister and then her being like actually capable? Like, are those two different things, or are they one and the same?
I think they can I think they correlate to some degree, because it does have, it all works off the basis of her power, like being strong enough to be like looked at as leader. Obviously she's the leader, it's just that she at times feels inadequate to other people like her sister. So, it's the part with her sister, her just not being as strong as her, and her wanting to lead the group to success, because I think like Tatsumaki's words they still take hold of Fubuki's mind when she was like, you're running around with a bunch of lackeys basically. And it's kind of like Fubuki was, at least in Tatsumaki's mind, Fubuki was with those guys because she could control them. Like, she was stronger than them. So, yeah, I think it's two different things. But again, it all works off of how strong Fubuki is.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it probably is one and the same thing. But it's also, it could be construed as two different things at the same time, because she wants to be like separate herself from that, and she wants to move out of the shadow of being Tatsumaki's little sister and being weaker than her, and she kind of just wants to have her own identity, which is what she's been chasing after this whole entire time. She wants to show that, hey, I'm the #1 B-class hero, and I'm the leader of the Fubuki group, and look at all these stylish clothes that I have. But also, she just wants to not have to rely on that whole bravado thing. She doesn't want to have to wear her emotions on her sleeve. So this is like more development in that aspect, and also accepting that, like, hey, you can be of importance and you can be your own individual if you don't have some kind of significant title to you, or if you're not X amount of powerful. And it all goes back to just, stepping out of the shadow that Tatsumaki has over her. But it's like, will Tatsumaki let her? Because we saw that, like, when she was trying to be independent, Tatsumaki's like, nah, forget about that. Just be my little sister.
Exactly, yeah. She isn't exactly helping the situation herself.
Which also goes into the whole weirdness about Tatsumaki and how she wants, like, Fubuki to be codependent on her.
Twisted love.
What happens when Tatsumaki dies, when they're old age and everything, and it's like, for that, like, 3 years before Fubuki eventually dies of old age, it's like, what do I do now? She's gone.
Make a video.
What, 3 years?
What would you do?
The 3-year gap of an elderly psychic. What
Guaranteed 1,000 views.
No, I wouldn't know what to talk about.
It's kind of like a parallel that I did on a thumbnail, because I kind of, this is how I related the moment to Garo when he, like, had Rover's blast in his face. She says, I can't run away. And then she reminisces back to the group, and, like, this is why I was asking before about, like, the whole responsibility thing. So now we've, like, discussed that it could both be seen as, like, two different paths, two different forms of development, but they also have very strong correlations. But I feel like she's always been a pretty good leader. So is this also, like, part of her journey is, like, actually getting the respect to be the leader of the new Fubuki group? Like, she's like, really, like, on some real nigga shit. Like, this is super worthy type shit. Like, this is what you would need of a leader. And the fact that we're giving, like, literal verbal reference to it. Is Fubuki going to be the leader of the new Fubuki group? Is that going to be a real thing? Are Bang and Bomb going to accept her?
I don't
highly doubt it. Now, she might be a good tactical person for them, especially now with her new buffing ability. Because, like, especially if she, like, if, God forbid, there ever come a time when, like, what's left of the Blizzard group has to combine with the Saitama group or new Fubuki group, and then they all have to fight together, she could, like, just buff everybody that could be buffed. Like, I don't know if Genos could be buffed that well.
That's a good question. But that's what I was going to say, that in the end, this is the Saitama group. And it's just Fubuki just being delusional and thinking that she's the leader. Another little fun thing that we get is, like, what she sees in her mind of, like, Genos and Saitama in Fubuki group garb, and the Bang's in there, and, like, Genos has the sleeves cut off. Yeah. That was just a nice little thing Murata put in there for the fans.
I was actually confused when she first said the name
you thought that
group,
was, like, real?
Because I was like, when did she form a new group? And then when it showed the picture, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it.
But just in the end, this is the Saitama group. It's like Saitama, King, Genos, Bang, Bomb, and Fubuki. That's, like, the clique.
There's somewhat parallels to Gero in that sense then, because Orochi was like, he was the guy unifying everybody really, because they're like, he's so strong, but Gero was, I guess, the face? Like the brand?
I still feel like Gero did more work in that relationship, though. Like, I agree that none of that would have worked without the fear and power of Orochi, like you're pointing out. But, like, them titties had to influence somebody, bro.
All right. Last sperm's like,
You're cutting out a little bit, but yeah, like, Gero is like Fubuki on steroids. She's like bigger than her, like in every way. Not too much.
We ain't see the ass yet.
I'm sure it's probably pretty good.
Hey man, all women are different.
We just got to see her backside, which we got a glimpse of. It was looking pretty good. In chapter 92, when she's like looking up at Orochi in like the middle of his progress, looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Any good artists out there? Asking for a friend. You should probably draw what Fubuki would look like without her dress on from that one panel.
Oh,
It's for a friend.
My friend asked me. The one panel where she's like, listen, you two of the new Fubuki group, and she's turned around. But he also said that like he only wants good artists. He doesn't want any like. He doesn't want Grimm to draw it. It
You
wasn't
forget
me
about
that
that
said
black
that.
sperm.
Yeah, it was my friend.
Hey, listen, bro. Look. I don't know y'all niggas seen, but I dropped a Rover pic, bro. That shit good as fuck. But hold on, let me drop that Rover right now, bro. Yo, low key, Murata was talking about adopting my Rover for the.
Oh shit, that's. He must really think that you're good then. That's a high honor.
You already know how high the honor is, my nigga. High as hell. Look right there for the people, bro. That's the real Rover right there, bro.
Woo! Yeah.
copyright, bitch. What is that? Its new name then?
Nah.
It looks like a Pokemon.
It does. You've seen like that new, the one that's based on Stonehenge? That's what that thing kind of reminds me of, except the arms are like on the lower part of the body instead of coming off the sides.
Yeah, that's the original sketch for Rover. Right there. Oh shit.
Yeah, I just to add from, at the end of this chapter when we see, the combined attack of Bang and Bomb, I do have to wonder, like, they've been martial artists probably most of their lives, and being brothers and everything, so they've always had this, tight bond and everything. I wonder how far this like combined art style goes. Like, how many more attacks are we going to see throughout the series?
Good question. I hope we see more. But considering that, like, they definitely have established that they think Rover is exceptionally powerful. I mean, they say he's one of the strongest monsters that they have, and he's pushing them to high difficulty for sure. This is probably it. I think this is like the strongest thing that they could probably do, because it's different than what they did to Elder Centipede. Because Elder Centipede did the Void or Ripping Fist, and that was pretty powerful. That cracked his carapace, but this is probably on a different level than that.
Come on. Hold on, bro. Are you saying this is stronger than the Void Fist, than the Void whatever attack, bro? The Aura Fist, whatever?
Well, we need more clarification on it, but probably.
I got 100% completely disagree, bro. Like you said, we need more clarification for sure. Because low key, bro, I don't even know why the fuck this is a combo. What are you just both attacking him? Like,
yeah, it is a little weird. It's like they're both doing their own thing.
Like, what type of combo is this, bro?
I mean, it looks fairly in sync, like they're using like about the same kind of attack. So, but yeah, they're probably using their two distinct art styles, I'd say.
Bro, Bane don't got the whirlwind, bro.
But this looks. What Bomb is doing is different than what he typically does because he's like throwing combinations. He's just like Mike Tyson style.
Mm-hmm. Shit is so crisp.
He like makes layer cakes with his moves.
Yeah, we saw it earlier when he was escaping. Both Bomb and Garo had pulled out those badass like fucking escaping drawings.
Cake blast.
Hell yeah. Nigga raw. Panel of the chapter?
You already know.
The ass.
He's mentioned it numerous
We've been
times.
talking about it. Honestly, I think that's the best panel. Like, it's better than the Cross-Fang Dragon Slayer fist panel.
What about the one where like Bang, he's in his pose, he's like, the sharpness has returned to my fist. If you look at Fubuki in the background.
No, that's awesome too. No, all right.
Yeah.
I wish the detail that he put into this panel of Fubuki, I wish he did it to her backside.
Yeah. Bro, you can see her rib cage indents, bro, the belly button, the titty, my nigga.
No, the nipples are perfect. Everything is just perfect. I just wish we saw it from the back.
But then you wouldn't be seeing half of that.
Yeah. And then look at look at the ones where she has the explosions behind her, and she's like surprised, like that Bang's deflected or whatever. Like the bottom half of it. Oh my gosh, for the view. This nigga wasn't playing, bro.
I have to say, mine is probably the deflection scene, where Bomb's or Bang's gone in there and he's just kind of deflecting them after the buff.
Mine is for sure the fucking menacing like full spread of Rover on the rubble staring down at the three of them in the center and shit. Like that's
that's a really cool one too. Somebody colored that on Reddit and it looks amazing.
Nah, nigga, a fucking kelp colored that shit and put it on Reddit.
Yeah, I think a few people have colored it in the.
Okay,
server.
never mind. It got the whole drive night treatment, huh?
All of them were looking pretty good though. So.
I think it was like fucking like 10 different like colorings I saw on Reddit for the drive night thing. All of them fucking bad.
More the merrier. I like that people are getting more and more into coloring panels because like all the other popular series get that service, so One Punch should get it too. The one guy that I was talking about, I'll tell you right now.
What's your
the one where Fubuki says, "Without my protection, just now there would be nothing left of you," where it's like she's like glowing, and so are Bomb and Bang.
Yeah, they're like looking at her like, the fuck? The fuck are you doing?
And it's rare that Fubuki has ever drawn like straining like that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess when espers like push themselves, they just start bleeding out of their eyes.
Well, I think it's like, especially with nosebleeds, but like you see it with anybody with any kind of like psychic-esque ability. Like I forget, I think it was the first Fantastic Four movie.
Like Jessica Alba.
Yeah, like when she was trying to contain the supernova level blast.
Oh yeah.
And like her nose started bleeding, so it's definitely a trope. But
Best scene in that movie is when they're on the bridge and she becomes invisible and then comes back and she's in her underwear. Best part of that movie.
I wonder what it'd be like to fuck a naked bitch. Would you just see your dick like just going into that? Yeah, that'd be.
You just see your dick all compressed.
Yeah, bro. You'd see your nut fly out and then like it wouldn't fall. You'd be hanging there.
Oh no.
And she'd be walking around. She'd run to the bathroom. We'd see like a pile of cum running.
I am eating.
You eat mashed potatoes?
So that's why you had gone quiet there.
I don't know did I ask you guys last stream? Rover versus EC.
That's a super. Actually, you know what? I think I might make a video about that. That's a good topic.
Big facts.
It's really competitive. It's hard to say. I mean, I'm sure you come to an answer that people would probably get on board with, but I don't know. I mean, my mind obviously goes straight to Rover probably winning, but there obviously is an argument for Elder Centipede too. It's just that he's more limited in his approach to attacking than Rover.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that it's like he's just a giant bug, and that's it. There's like no energy attacks, no nothing, and yet for a while he was one of the strongest that we saw.
If somebody did one of those like stick fan animations of Rover CC, I'd like that'd be everything, bro.
Yeah, after you guys are done making that Fubuki panel, you should make that Rover versus C fight. Make the Fubuki one first.
Make the cover page for the fight.
Yeah, that works.
Can Darkshine deflect these blasts?
I think so.
Yes.
He probably would have to dig in, maybe, but I don't think he'd get knocked over.
Without a buff?
Potentially.
Ooh, I'd like to see that. Fubuki buff him. I wonder if she'll buff. I guess, like, right? She'll buff other people in this arc since they're like establishing it now.
Yeah, if she gets a little time to maybe heal up.
I'm not going to spoil Star Wars, but have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
You know, like that one scene when it shows that Rey can do that one thing, and it's like, it's kind of weird that she's just randomly doing this to this thing now. Oh, it's because she's going to do it later on in the movie, and you kind of understand that she can do it.
She did like
the worm in the cave.
The worm. Oh.
I'm talking about what she does to the worm, and then it's like, oh, okay, so that was just establishing that she could do that, so she could do it to that other character later on.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's like the case here. Like they're showing that Fubuki can buff them, so she buffs someone else in the future.
Genos.
She's going to buff the buff man.
Buff Genos.
Buff the machine. Genos.
I oiled your circuits.
Oiled your circuit? What the fuck?
You've heard of Ghost in the Machine? Well, now it's the psychic in the machine.
I need Genos to get a W unassisted. Fuck that.
Yeah, well, that's
so tired.
No, but
that needs a win. Period.
That would really be how you do it. Like just to handicap Genos anyways when he gets a W. Just like, oh, but Fubuki boosted him.
Yeah, you only got that win because I oiled your circuits.
Oh shit, bruh. This thing is a troll, bruh.
I actually wonder what a buff for him would look like because he's only got his brain left.
Yeah, that's another question that I constantly get. It's like he falls out of all the traditional power-ups and buffs that you can get, and people always ask, like, what would happen if this happened to Genos? What would happen to this happen to Genos? It's like, it's hard to say because he only really has his brain and maybe his spine, maybe.
What happens if Genos
Although
eats a monster cell?
Yeah, well, if he ate the monster cell, if he got training from this and this character, if he removed his limiter. It's like, I don't know.
What if Genos still has his penis? And it's just attachable.
I don't know. I think in one hurricane he does. He has something.
Hey, that's canon.
It is.
It might be a cannon.
It technically is, right? It technically
got it reinforced. He could just like turn the sperm off.
That would be useful.
We got the sprinkler mode in it. Like,
hell yeah.
Hey, Genos, baby.
Pressurize that shit.
Got a condom tonight? It's like, I can turn it on and off. We have no problems.
Give his girl a facial from across the room.
And then she moves through the wall.
For real, though, I think they already have it, or it should be available soon, like male birth control. Like you take a pill and your sperm just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not on that, sir. Hell no.
It's a thing. We were talking about that before weeks ago.
I feel like that long-term use. You just
Yeah, it doesn't sound healthy, but man, neither does having a kid.
Oh,
Now, I was actually listening to some shit that was like saying that the rise of birth control for women like revolutionized like everything for them. Like birth control is one of the biggest things that's ever happened for women ever. Like, cause they can
Not have a period.
it's not afford to like have sex and not have a kid, or just like not be all about having a kid or whatever. So it's
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fucking awesome.
and
It's
it
not
has
all
other
bad.
health benefits as well. So all the more.
But I don't think like fucking turning off your sperm is gonna give you like more testosterone or some shit. Like, nah, bro, I want my nut to be like fucking dangerous, nigga. Like, you better watch out, bitch. You get on your
Just
pubic
like-
hair, you might get pregnant.
Melts a hole in the table.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if it turns off for a while, it becomes super potent because it's just stewing for a while.
They're mutating.
And then when you finally quit taking it, and then it's like, yep, instant pregnancy. I didn't even do a damn thing.
You try that.
Yeah.
No.
Try that. I will try the other
Make a video about it.
What the hell would I do?
Stupid.
I took male birth control for 30 days, and this happened.
No. That would be taken off YouTube so damn quick if anyone did.
Nah, just label it educational.
It'd be funny if like let me not say that. That line. All right, guys, that was it for 124's discussion. This is one of the things that we've been waiting for a long time. Big, heavy battle power. We got the beginning of the glimpses of it. We got development for characters. So this is an amazing chapter and a great way to end 2019. A new decade, a new experience, a new way. Make sure that you do your best in whatever you do. I know that a lot of niggas are making like New Year's resolutions. It's always easier to like accomplish that if you make a resolution small. So do something like little, like make sure you do 10 push-ups every single morning. Eventually by like June or whatever, you'll be doing 100 push-ups. So make it small and you'll be able to get it done. Remember to not suck dick and get your dick sucked.
Huh?
Yeah.
Why would that's a horrible message.
Remember, it's not gay to get your dick sucked, but it's gay to suck dick. Everybody puts out content. Satsuki just got through doing 28 days of a whole month
28 days of the new year.
Not anymore.
yeah. So check out a whole month's worth of content. Zhoniin's been putting out.
No, don't go to my channel. Just skip over it.
Zhoniin dropped the.
Go to Kishin's channel. Go to Grimm's channel. Watch Satsuki's daily uploads throughout January. Just don't watch my channel.
What the fuck was it? Top moves 2019.
Yeah, top moves of 2019. Just don't watch that video.
Also remember, check out the other boys, Matt and Sundown. They weren't able to make this session because I think they're having a circle jerk over the other side of the pond.
Hey.
You already know them boys, how friendly they are.
They call it a gentleman's handshake.
If you want to have your art or anything that you guys do in regards to One Punch related shown in the podcast, like your art colorings like Zhoniin was mentioning, just come to the Discord, post it there, and then we'll show it if it's relevant to the conversation. Always we post pictures and shit all the time. You know, if Grimm art can get up here, my nigga, why couldn't your art?
Yeah, I mean, make the fubuki ass and guaranteed to be on here.
Yeah. And like add a little bit more curve to it, like on the right side of the cheek, like make that dent a little bit closer to the pinky of the right hand. It to just
Yeah,
to like
as Grimm calls it, the drip.
yeah. And the hand to the drip. Just a little bit with the color and shit. Like, oh my god, bro! You could even see like this nigga went as far as to add a shade to show you the crack. Like
That's what I'm saying. Artistic ass.
Hell yeah, bro. That shit look fat for real, bro. I'll eat that shit.
It's perfect.
Oh god.
Bro, and then when she's screaming, like nigga, like, oh.
Yo ho ho!